Train's coming.
We have a train coming by, so the line's going to go really bad. Hi everybody, welcome to the Good City Show. I'm sitting here. If you're wondering who this strange person is, this strange person is Laeeq Ali. We're second generation friends. I have had the benefit of knowing him over the past 7, 8, 9 years. 8, 9 years?
Yeah.
Something like that. Laeeq does some really interesting stuff. He's the co-founder of Origami Creative, Bloombox Brand Engineers, that really cool ad that came out recently, I think.
Pure and Short.
Pure and Short, where are all the kids going? He's also been the past chair of Young Indians Bengaluru, Ad Club Bengaluru. What's a Bengaluru? Basically today we're talking about something really interesting. It's called Your Time Is Now. It's a book that Laeeq has co-authored along with Frank Moffat.
Yeah.
Your Time Is Now sounds really exciting. It could be right now at this very moment. You're about to take a plunge. You're going to do some really cool, interesting stuff. Things that you haven't done. I don't know. Get married. I don't know what's it. Oh wait, you're already married. But yeah.
Yeah.
And the phones are beeping, but that's fine. The really interesting part. How on earth did you come up with this thing called Your Time Is Now?
Interesting. So the journey has been very interesting, Aditya. First and foremost, thank you so much for doing the interview on In the Good City.
Okay.
And it's been great knowing you. And when you called me and said, why don't we do an interview? I thought, who else but you?
Oh wow, that's nice.
So
Your Time Is Now on the Good City.
Your time is now in the Good City. So a lot of people are looking at me and call me and ping me on WhatsApp and stuff like that and ask me, Laeeq, are you writing a book?
I mean, you're more of creating content and producing ads and coming up with something creative.
Correct.
So when did this whole author role happen, and when did you and Frank meet?
Correct. So I don't know whether to call this journey. You've heard about this accidental entrepreneur business which is there. So I don't know whether to call myself accidental author that way.
Okay.
But it was a very strange incident which happened, and that's the beauty about it too. I was in fact traveling, and I was on a flight.
Okay.
And I was coming back to Bangalore, and incidentally I had Frank sit next to me.
All right.
And we got chatting on the flight, and
like how most of us would. You'd either be sleeping or you talk to the person next to you.
Absolutely. And I love chatting with people who is next to me because I love understanding humans, and I love connecting to humans, most importantly. So we got chatting, and then I realized that it was a very interesting conversation about life and what we do, and we got to know each other. And then the conversation brewed from there on, saying, Frank asked me, why don't you write a book? So I said, my story, why would anybody be interested in my story?
But then, of course, like whoever is watching and listening to this, everybody is always interested in listening to a story.
Absolutely. So, firstly, whether the book is about my story, not necessarily, but the book is about a lot of learnings which both of us had or have. So, the whole point is we parted ways after the flight, but we stayed in touch with each other, and we started conversing.
So was it more LinkedIn or was it Instagram?
It was Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
So Facebook more Facebook actually.
Okay.
Facebook is very relevant to Frank.
Okay.
And the point was we started chatting up about life and learnings and whatnot. And then finally we decided to collaborate, where we said, let's come together and put this life learnings into place.
Okay.
And that is where Frank took the lead in terms of putting this entire thing together. But it's all of our learnings in life about our mistakes, what we've done in life, and what we want to correct in life, and thereby creating a very purposeful future.
Nice.
So, in essence, that is what it is. So that's the much more broad framework to it.
Okay.
And the point is, why your time is now? If not now, when?
Okay. Or when else? And your time is not specifically age bound. It could be for anybody.
Absolutely, correct. So the whole point is saying that okay, now is the only thing which is in your control. Do something about it. You can't do anything about your past, and future is anyway fiction.
Right.
Correct.
So based on what you do now is what could dictate your future.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the whole perspective to this entire story, which is there, which is about Brian, who is an American who is broke.
Is Frank American too?
No.
Okay, where's Frank from?
Frank is from Canada.
Okay.
But he lives half the time in Canada. He lives half the time in Bali.
Okay.
He's having a very chilled out life.
I'm sure Canada and Bali. I mean, freezing cold and nice humid weather. All right.
Yeah.
Frank, we're coming for you at some point.
Yeah.
All right. I was browsing through parts of the book. So the book is available online, of course.
Book is available on yourtimesnow.in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had something that we were talking about earlier. Is obviously when you bring out a book, and otherwise, finance is very important. And the book also highlights about it. Tell me more. And I'm sorry, let's go back to that story that you were saying. Brian is from.
Oh, yours. So the story it's about Brian who's broke, heartbroken that ways.
He's heartbroken. He's also broke.
He's broke and he's heartbroken, and he ends up in India, soul searching, and he lands up in Delhi. And while he's on his way to Goa, he accidentally meets again a mentor of his, who starts listening to his story and starts advising him on various facets of life. And through this journey, and once he lands up in Goa too, is this story about self-realization of the mistakes what Brian has done in his life, especially with regard to finance. So the story touches about 7 financial principles, which anybody should follow in life. Thereby, you do the right things to make sure it's not just about creating wealth; it's also about making sure that the wealth stays with you, right? So what do you need to do?
At some point, sharing that wealth.
Absolutely, share the wealth too. Correct. And that's the whole point which is there, saying that how do you go about doing this? There is method to the madness, and that method to the madness is available in the book.
Hardcore sell. But so yeah, again, your time is now. Pre-purchase it. I think you get a discount if you buy it early.
Yes.
I bought my copy, not yet. Waiting for the autographed one with somebody here. But yeah, and all that's great. But then while we talk about YTIN or your time is now, what about dreams?
Oh. It's one of my favorite topics because
I'm sorry, the location your office is located on one side of the road you have like Beamers and Bentleys, on the other side you have classic ambassadors. I saw an RV park there too. I mean, so all of us dream about things that we can buy or aspire to buy. So how do you go about it? And is there anything in the book that talks about it? Or
Yes.
your journey?
Yes.
Did you dream X, Y, Z years ago you'd become a co-author?
This was not a dream, but Frank came into my life and kindled me in a certain manner and this dream came into being, and then said, why not? Correct. And I'm somebody who jumps at anything and everything which comes my way, because for me life is about that next dot. Correct. What are you going to do today? I'm like that. So dreaming is one of my favorite topics. In fact, I've been doing a lot of sessions about dreaming. We consult with brands, and what we typically do with brands is help them dream the future, what they want to create, help them dream and figure out where do they want to take all these things. So dreaming is something which is close to my heart. Purpose is something which is close to my heart, because which we do for a living otherwise. So here, one big component which is there is about dreaming. And it's not just about dreaming to have a material wealth that ways, but it's about dreaming. It's dreaming about impact. It's that big dream what you can possibly have. Right? You want to do something in life. You want to go somewhere.
And then on that note, so as you're dreaming, obviously you're looking at a certain number of goals, right, or goal setting, which is most important.
Yes.
unless you have a pathway. And actually, something like taught me a couple of years ago on some other note, which is in terms of mind mapping, right? So you draw a circle, you draw out all your ideas on it, and then you start linking out, and you see what makes sense, what doesn't.
Yeah.
So how does the whole goal setting work?
So,
I mean, according to you, the both of you.
What do you call a dream without goals? Dream without goals
It's just a loose dream.
Correct. It's fiction. Correct.
Right.
Now you can dream. Dreams with goals is progress.
Okay.
Correct. Otherwise, it's just dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You can have any dream what you want, but then if the dream needs to come into reality, you need to have goals.
Yeah. And
so figure out what those goals
take
are.
It ahead from there.
Correct. So figure out what your goals are, and we have a component about SMART goals. SMART.
Yes, I think all of us have heard various versions of it.
Absolutely, and we have a very
You want to
simplified
elaborate on
format.
SMART goals also?
Not
Smart,
really.
measurable, accurate? No.
Not really. Let them buy the book. It's all in there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we don't want people saying, "Oh, I watched this interview. I don't really read the book."
Correct.
So I'm looking forward to reading the book. Looking forward to seeing the launch.
Yes.
So Young Indians is an integral part of the book too.
Young Indians is a very integral part of the book. It is an organization which has given a lot to me.
Okay.
It's transformed me by showing me a different side of me. And the fundamental aspect about Young Indians is all about giving. You get in there and you say, what's in it for me? Then there might not be anything. But the beauty about the organization, it's this diverse group of people like Aditya. There are a lot of people, from doctors to lawyers to a lot of people there, who all are united.
Young working professionals.
Working professionals too. And they are all united for one cause. One cause, that's the dream of a better India. So it's all about what can we do to make our India better.
Okay.
And so we take things on us and we make sure that we are doing stuff around the everyday shows which we see around us. So it's a great organization, and I owe a lot to YI that ways.
And I also noticed that the book has a CSR angle to it too.
It does. There are two things which is close to my heart. One is YI, and there is another entity called Tunnel, which sets up destitute homes for the homeless.
Okay.
And they do a lot of programs with regard to building homes, community centers, and a lot of stuff. So it's something which is close to my heart. So we've committed to a certain amount from this particular book to both these organizations.
Thank you. See you soon.
See you soon. In the Good City. In the Good City is a great idea, a great thought, and it's run by Aditya Mendonca. He is the silent, smiling killer. Okay, irrespective of that, I think it's a great thought. It's a great idea. It's about celebrating what's inside the city. So a city has various avatars, and Aditya is trying to bring each of these avatars to life through In the Good City. And I think it's a great initiative. So he's becoming an advocate of sorts of what Bangalore is today and what India could be, or each of those cities could be. So his dream is big. I like what he does, and he has big dreams within the Good City. And I've loved collaborating with him for whatever he does.